Hi, I'm Amy Teeters, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Reimagine project I did that had to do with the survival guide. Around Christmas time this year, my students wanted a break from the research and analytical based writings that we had been doing. So I came up with an idea to write a survival guide. They could do it on anything they wanted pretty much. They just had to really rely on who their audience was and what they needed to do regarding their audience. A lot of students chose to write a stranger's guide to their life, and they talked about their jobs or after school activities, their different teachers and classes they have, but some got really creative with it, and I thought it'd be neat if I could add the multimodal components to this assignment, because as you know, with students and technology, a lot of them know a lot more than we do about it. So I thought it would be a neat experience to have them do that. So I'm going to go through and show you what I did initially and then how I changed it, and show you some examples and what I did from there. In the travel guide to my students, I would have them go to my website, which you see here, and they would scroll down to the survival guide. This is what they did in December. I always put what we do daily on my website, and there's multimodality within it. If I want to show them videos or what we're doing that day is all explained. So how they write the survival guide initially, their assignment was just to create a survival guide. An audience in mind would be parents or someone close to them, so they could have the right language or different tones or inside jokes they would use. Then I gave them a list of some things to consider. A lot of them did the student's guide to surviving like a moment in their life or going through something within their own lives. And then some requirements they had to do initially was a picture with the title and the author. They could draw a picture, they could get a snippet tool, they could use an actual picture. And then they had to have a table of contents, the introduction, 5 sections about their life, and I gave them an example. And they had to have 350 words of each one. So here's the examples I gave them that they could use. Then a top 10 list of ways to survive that reflected the book title, and then 5 songs that reflected their guide as well. And then again, I just gave them an example. And then an example of what one student did is this. Jessie chose some pictures from her life for her title, and that's reflective, her table of contents. And then she just went through and she met all the requirements. She's got her word counts. She explains each section of what she had. But it's kind of plain, boring. So spicing it up a little bit with the multimodality that this assignment allowed, I think is really exciting for the kids. And then her songs, she just listed them. So then my new revised or re-imaged assignment, this is the assignment sheet. Again, they're picking their audience, who they want to write their guide to or about, but they have to include hyperlinks, videos, pictures, websites. It's more like a digital scrapbook. So I anticipate a lot of students will be doing hyperlinks and videos within it. The cover still has the picture, title, and author. And then they have to include a video in their introduction of them describing the guide to get started. Each section is still 350 words, but each section has to have at least one multimodal element within it, and they have to use at least 2 different ones within their guide. I also made them put in their top 10 list. They have to have a link to something they're talking about. They're talking about reducing stress. I want to see an article link to reducing stress. The 5 songs at the end, they have to provide a video to the song, and they also have to add a couple sentences explaining why they chose the song. And then they have to present the guide to the class, and then they have to show us the multimodal elements. I don't want them reading this word for word, obviously. It'd be really long. And they are graded on that with the rubric that is in the reflective piece that I showed. And then my example, I'll just show you real quick here with the multimodal elements here, what I did. So I've got pictures with each section. Then I have some links to like a letter I wrote to my boys' teacher. And then I have, this is really long, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get down to where I have my links. I have one here about Ohio University. And then there's one here about my toxic summer when I was diagnosed with breast cancer 2 summers ago. I wrote a letter about it to my students. And then within my ways to survive, I do have a link to reducing stress, as I alluded to earlier. And then my soundtrack does have the links to the videos and the explanation that I showed them. So I thought this was a good example to show the students of exactly what I'm looking for and what I actually want them to do.